Why? Is there some kind of racism? Hungary has shown that it is possible to turn...
The sense of this European election is change the leadership. What is election for? The sense of election is that if the leadership proves to be bad, must be replaced. That's so simple. And this leadership of European Union is simply bad. It's failed. So it's not just a political statement, it's very much factual.
But I remember very well.
I think that nations has the right to decide about their own future. So if somebody would like to make an attempt to create a mixed society, Christian-based with Muslim communities, and as liberals think the outcome will be something good, let's do it. It's your fate, it's your future, but don't force us to do so. So that's what we call the offer of tolerance, what I have made several times to Brussels. I said, guys, you can create whatever migration system you would like to do, but don't force Hungary to do the same thing, because we simply don't believe. We think that mixture of the two civilizations will be not resulted in good things.
You could almost say change in regime in Poland, which I think has many people worried.
We respect the rights of Ukraine, sovereignty of Ukraine, and people to create their own and maintain their own state. So therefore, invasion of Putin against Ukraine is totally against the values of international relations and all the values we all respect. So no question of that. But the Hungarian point of interest is that something must be between Russia and Hungary. So this is the number one. So we support Ukraine to survive somehow, which is questioned because Ukraine is not a more sovereign state. Ukraine is now just protectorate of the West. So without getting the money and the weapons from the European Union and United States, Ukraine as a state would cease to exist. So it's not a sovereign state anymore.
As you know, I think it's best described as nationalism.
Hungary has always a good economic relation with Russia. So I would not like to give up that kind of cooperation, because the war between Ukraine and Russia is not the war of the Hungarians. It's a war of two Slavic nations. One big Slavic nation attacked another one, and they have a war. And we don't behave like the Europeans who said, oh, it's our war, because it's about values, it's about international order whatsoever, so we are in the war, it's our war, but not fully, because we would not like to die, you know. So please, Ukrainians, die, we give the money and give the weapon and defend our values, please. So it's not so much our war to go into and to take the life risks there to fight there, but just, you know, to finance your life. So I don't like that approach at all.
Putin's closest ally in Europe.
And the reason of the war is very simple. It's called NATO membership. And just as a country who was occupied by the Russians for 45 years, I can say on personal experiences that Russians will never allow to have membership of Ukraine as it is now in NATO. For the geopolitical thinking, it's impossible. They will always do everything to have something between the Russian border and NATO countries' border. It could be called Ukraine, it could be war zone, it could be called war, whatever. But a buffer zone must exist between NATO and Ukraine.
For this wonderful interview, it's great to see you again.
Unfortunately, we are not doing to deliver evidences that ceasefire and negotiations would be better than continue to war. We're just delivering evidences to the Ukrainians that die more, fight more, and you will win. It's definitely true, they cannot win. Because it's not about the values, it's not about my heart, it's not about my philosophical conviction, it's about reality. So that war has no solution on the battleground.